The 10 harsh truths I wish I knew about BJJ when I started. It's only now that I know these things. And if you've just begun, this is going to help you. So we're going to go through them. And if you don't know this about jiu-jitsu, it might be a bit of a wake-up call.
This might hurt a little bit.
It might.
That we did say harsh.
It is harsh. And jiu-jitsu is harsh. So let's start at the top, which is it's painful, but it's real. Most people you meet in jiu-jitsu quit. And eventually it could be you, especially if you don't dig into these other things. So it's so tough. You meet people when you start the journey and you're like, oh, we're besties, we're friends, this is great. And then you're like, a year or two passes and you're like, I'm the only one standing. Like, it's just all new people now. You feel like, even though you might still be a white belt, you feel like an OG because your cohort has petered out.
Yeah.
I find it very rare that people you start with stick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a war of attrition in that sense. And when you're so frothy at the start, you cannot conceive of how anyone could possibly ever want to quit because it's just so much fun. But the injuries haven't stacked up yet.
That's it. And it's usually within that early period. And it leads me to the harsh truth, which we've talked about it, but almost no gym owner or anyone else wants to talk about is you will get injured. You will. This is jiu-jitsu. We know that it is a tough contact sport and art, but essentially it is not a sales pitch. And, you know, even though we glorify it, when you cop that injury, which stops you from living your life, it makes you question your motivation for jiu-jitsu. So this idea of people quitting, it's like, I know for myself, when I copped my first serious knee injury, it did stop me in my tracks because I was a personal trainer and I'm like, I can't walk downstairs. I can barely put my shoes on. How can I live my life? Is this worth it?
Yeah.
You must have had a moment like that before.
Oh, yeah,
Joe.
yeah. And I mean, I still have that moment somewhat regularly.
Time
right?
to time.
Yeah. Something stupid happens, like you can jam your finger gets jammed or something. And you're like, and you're like, man, jiu-jitsu.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And I think the longer we stay in it, we accept it more. But I think it's when people cop that first serious injury, it's a bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, that one is enough to really rattle some people to never come back. But yes, I do find once you get through that first one, it kind of recalibrates your perception of yourself and understanding of the whole thing. And I think it hopefully generally puts you in a better position moving forward.
Yeah, provided you're able to overcome it.
That's right.
And so here's the deal. This is the hardest thing, especially when you got the froth and maybe it starts to wear off. It takes easily, this is a harsh truth. If you've been training jiu-jitsu less than like 2-3 years, you suck. Like you're not good in comparison to people who've done it longer than you, right? And it is so hard to tell because you're just training with people your own level, and then maybe you go to a different gym and then you're like, they just throw you in with everyone. You're like, oh, I'm used to just rolling white belts. They're like, no, we train everyone together here. And you just get destroyed. And that's the thing. There's very few things I believe in life where you put in 2 years of showing up 3, 4, 5 times a week and you're not good at it in 2 years. You know, like within the scope of what jiu-jitsu is. And so this kind of leads into a different point relevant to like why blue belts quit. You commit so much time. Maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 4 years. You get that blue belt and then you still have this sense that you're not
good.
Yeah. And it's so tough because jiu-jitsu is so big.
It's true. And I mean, good is such a relative term, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like super subjective. But yeah, that's right. You do need to be prepared that the first couple of years you're probably going to suck.
Yeah, and it's difficult because we mainly compare ourselves to the higher belts because that's where we want to go. But they've got so much lead time on you.
And maybe you follow like a Josh Saunders or something who's like, got my black belt in 3 years. And you're like, I should be on track for that, I think. I think I'm going good. And then you just get pummeled again.
And that's the hardest thing. These metrics of like, if I get there faster, I must be better. That's not necessarily true at all.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the myth. Stripes don't matter. That's right. I said it. You're worried about your next stripe. Trust me, daddy. When you get to the next belt and the belt after, it just disappears. It only matters at that time because that's your measure of, am I improving? Because the hardest thing about jiu-jitsu is you don't know if you're improving. It's like, oh, I got the stripe from coach, I must be improving. No, there's people out there not getting any stripes, hardly getting belts, and they will fucking destroy you. Like, the stripe is a bit of an illusion. I'm not going to say it's like a scam, but it's the encouragement award to keep you on track, which is a useful tool, but you shouldn't get deluded by that. You shouldn't.
Don't get caught up on it either.
Don't imagine
stripes.
Like, oh, but I'm 3 stripes and he's only 1 stripe. I should smash him. It's like, no, it's not like that.
Yeah.
It really is a marketing tool of sorts, or a retention tool to keep you on track, which is valid, but don't think that stripes correlate with skills. They don't.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a sales thing. Now, here's something which maybe some people are not going to like, Joe, but it is a harsh truth.
Well, the stripe givers are going to be up in arms about your last point, but
yeah,
proceed.
but I mean, no, I mean respectfully, sock it, DX, sock it. More isn't better. More training isn't better. Some people respond to greater volume of training, and some people actually really respond to a bit less.
Mm-hmm.
Now, invariably, there's always someone in the gym who trains more than anyone else.
Yep.
They're the mat rat. They usually smell a bit dank because their gi's still wet from lunch session, or they're always training. You always see them on the mat, and generally, because they've got crazy level volume, they're doing better than most, even though they may be riddled with injuries, or they may have no income, or they may just sleep on someone's couch, or what. Their life might not be great, but they're good at jiu-jitsu. People assume more jiu-jitsu training equals better jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
This is not true. Like, I know some very elite jiu-jitsu guys who only train once a day, and actually they only train 4, sometimes 5 days a week.
Yeah, I've been just training once a month, and I feel like I'm getting heaps better.
Elite.
Yeah.
Elite.
I'm going to challenge Souders with my methods soon. But no, that's you got to train every week. Don't do what I do. But that's right. Training more. There's an absolute upper limit of that where it just starts to f you up because you're not getting enough sleep. You're not applying yourself properly in classes. You're not spending time with your family or doing your job properly. Whatever else is going on in your life gets sacrificed. So taking a minimalist approach is. I can't imagine anyone that it's not the best way to go about it.
Yes.
Maybe if you're 17 and you got nothing going on, great, go there every day. But pretty much everyone else has got shit going on.
I think also it's not a problem to build up over time. Like, just do 3 days a week and then do that for a couple of months and then go, oh, I might add a 4th day.
Yeah.
And then do that too. And then gradually just build up over time. The problem is most coaches will say, just train more, because that's the only lever they've got to pull. But also that's their business model. It's a bit of a sad irony that obviously coaches want you on the mat because it's good for their gym, it's good for their business. They think it's good for you, but it also might burn you out.
Yeah.
And then they lose you as a customer, and then your journey may be over. Look, gym culture will make or break your jiu-jitsu. If you go to a gym, and even though they might have many champions or whatever, it doesn't mean anything if it's a very brutal, toxic culture where you just get put through the meat grinder and then step up or fuck off. Like that for me, having willed myself into a very tough environment, it suited me because I wanted that smoke. For most jiu-jitsu folks, I think that's a recipe for disaster. You go, oh, but they've got all the best people. Yeah, but they don't actually really care about your long-term success. I believe that is a huge red flag. And if you buy into but they've got really good champions, that's fuckery. Like, good gym culture looks like them giving a fuck about you as an individual, no matter where you're coming into it, whether you've already got a blue belt or you've never done jiu-jitsu. Like, they actually care more about you as an individual than how good are you at jiu-jitsu. You know what I love? When someone shares a secret with me, and that secret is helpful. And the secret that I'm going to share with you today is the new flavor from Sodi. I'm talking about mandarin. I didn't think there was fresher flavors, but I'm telling you that mandarin, it hit different. Not only does it give me sodium, potassium, magnesium to keep my muscles pumping, it gives me the chef's kiss of freshness. And I cannot recommend it enough. Now, if you want to get yourself some new flavors, they also have kiwi. You need to go to Sodii, SODII.com.au and use the code Bulletproof15 to get 15% off, get fresh, and get that flavor. Oof.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, those things are not necessarily mutually exclusive, but they often are.
Yeah.
In that if a gym is really focused on building great competitors, they're probably not as focused on fostering beginners and keeping, jiu-jitsu open to all different types that want to come in and do the thing. It's like, no, we're interested in building killers. And so, yeah, find a place that matches whatever it is that you're after. And we know this after many years that most people aren't in jiu-jitsu to roll to the death at every session and want to make it their be all and end all. It's just something, an awesome thing that is part of your life. And so in that way, find a gym that sort of delivers it to that degree.
Yeah. This kind of goes off the back of that, which is it's hard to hear if you're doing jiu-jitsu right now and you don't have a gym buddy, you're going to time out. You're not going to make it. If you're going to jiu-jitsu and you're just like, oh, it's fine. Like, I'm not mates with everyone there, but it's fine. No, you need a gym buddy. You need someone who you can talk to, whether they're like senior to you or junior to you or whatever it is in your gym, who you can relate to somehow personally to negotiate this really harsh, bumpy road, which is jiu-jitsu. You don't have a gym buddy, you're done. Like, you will not last in jiu-jitsu. This is what I have found because I have seen very capable people with huge potential, but because they weren't able to connect with people in the gym, they invariably stop coming because you need something more than the skills.
You're sort of outside of the social fabric of the place.
It's tough, especially if you go into an established gym, which is a bit cliquey.
Yeah.
You feel it. You're like, they started together, or those are all the tough guys, or that's the girls group, or like, where do I fit in here?
So Gym Buddy kind of helps you to navigate that. It gives you another person that can keep you accountable.
And actually, I think great gyms usually find a way to, oh, you should go in with so-and-so.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you say that you fucking love video games? This guy, he's fucking all
you're
about
into
it.
crypto, right? This guy he loves crypto too.
He's got a really good deal for you. You should follow him on Instagram.
I should go start a meme coin together.
The blockchain, am I right?
What number are we up to?
We are right near the end.
Holy shit.
We are so close. We've got
so
3
many
to go.
harsh truths.
It's tough, right? 10 harsh truths. It smacks you in the face. It punches you in the guts. But you need to hear it so that you will stay in the game.
Uncle Joey and JT are the only ones that are going to tell you the real deal.
Give it to you.
People are like, I thought you guys were like advocating for us to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
We are. Go and listen to all the other episodes.
Trust. Stay with me. You will never master jiu-jitsu. You won't. And how do I know this? Because I've spoken to people who I thought had mastered the game. Like people, 4-time champions, 5 times, 10 times world champions. You talk to them and they're like, nah, man, it's too big.
Yeah.
But this is actually a good thing. Don't look at this the wrong way. Some people are like, oh, but if it's impossible to ever like get on top of it, you're going to get insanely good at jiu-jitsu. You put the time in and you work at it. But the great thing is it's what's referred to as like an infinite game. You never quite get there, even though you might be so good at an armbar, someone might show you a small detail, which you never knew before, but now your armbar's better.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an inherently negative thing that you're not quite. I think people really feel the need to control something or feel like I own this or this is mine. And jiu-jitsu is just so freaking infinite. You will never master it. So don't get hung up on that.
Yeah, because it can be very disappointing because you do think in the beginning that you will get to a point of mastery.
Yeah.
And then at a point you do realize, wow, that mastery never comes. But sometimes that feeling, like, especially when you've like got a little bit of experience and like you got a bit of a game and it's going okay, you're like, yeah, I think I'm across it all.
This is my game.
Yeah.
I'm on this.
It can hit you like a ton of bricks when you realize I'm not across it at all.
Yeah, I remember like the first time in Sao Paulo watching like them demonstrate certain techniques. I was like, whoa, there's like 10 steps to this. I thought there was one. Like, I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years. I didn't know it was done like that. Like, you may relate to this where you're like, how come no one showed me this before? Like, how come I didn't know this before? I've been doing this wrong for 4.5, 5 years. But the great thing is, you know better now. And this is the cool journey of staying in it. But look, it doesn't get easier. You just get better. Like, it's hard. It doesn't matter if you're 5 weeks in and you're a white belt, or you're 10 years in and you're a black belt, it is hard. Jiu-jitsu doesn't get easier. At every level, there will be new challenge, technically, physically, personally, all this shit. But that is the value in it. You are getting better.
Yeah.
You are rising to the challenge. This challenge, like, don't let it beat you down, but it's real. You get to that next level, and then it's just, well, it just gets more difficult in different ways. But that is the beauty, is the increasing challenge. You never are similar to the mastery. You never arrive. This is similar. I was talking to a friend of mine who's like borderline contortionist, and I said to her, like, how's it feel when you like can do a back bend and put your head on your heels and stuff? She's like, it hurts. Like when you hit that end range, it doesn't matter if you're really flexible. It's not like, oh, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Like when you hit the top end of whatever your capacity is, it hurts. So you just embrace that this is in the name of improving. And that's what it is, right? So harsh but true. Jiu-jitsu ain't getting easier. Last but not least, don't hate me, folks. Well, hate me now if you will. Black belts don't matter. The black belt totally doesn't matter.
Unless it's mine.
Well, even then it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me, son. No, because it is just without getting too Buddhist or philosophical in it, like, death is the next step. The black belt is just a step amongst many steps. And the problem is, it's also the marketing of jiu-jitsu. It's like, oh, the black belt. Yeah. Oh, the master. Oh, the things. And once you get it, it not that it's meaningless, but it's not the epitome of jiu-jitsu.
It doesn't mean what you thought it was going to mean.
No.
It means something very different. But I mean, it's obviously still of immense value. But yeah, you thought that it would mean you had mastered the shit. And you're like, oh, God.
Or you think, oh, I'm an expert now.
Yeah.
No.
None of that.
No. And that is confronting when you've spent so many years working towards a thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to talk...
No one tells you that. That's why we're fucking telling you. Man.
We're telling you. And it's not a point of discouragement. All these points ultimately mean that you stay in jiu-jitsu, you are going to be a better, tougher, smarter person. But you do have to overcome all this fucking challenge. And as soon as you can accept that these things are the case and keep moving forward, then you are on the path, my friends, and you will get there. If these things knock you off the path because no one told you, or it's a shock to your system, I think that's sad, because I want to see everybody stay on the path.
That's right. Your potential is limitless.
It is.
If you choose to accept the lessons herein.
Yes, sir. So there it is, the truth of all truths. And so we do not say this in a form of discouragement. We say, seek the discomfort, stay on the path. You will get there, we believe.